Hi everyone, welcome to the HiveHub podcast. And today we have with us Dhaval Shah. Dhaval is the founder of Elsa, Hey Elsa AI, and one of the first projects we've onboarded onto the pilot cohort of Hive. Hi Dhaval, welcome and thank you for taking out the time.
Hey, hi everyone. How's it going?
How has Hive been for you so far? And it's very early on, but we're very excited to have you on the accelerator. Really enjoy working with the team, and great to have Kunal at the Dubai-based meetup as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I think Hive is a great initiative. I've known Pratik for at least 3 4 years now. He's been a great friend in the crypto space, and particularly I think any kind of platform that enables you to expand your network, enhance your product, or overall strengthen your marketing base is always welcome. And Hive is a phenomenal accelerator, and we're thrilled to be part of it.
Mhm. So, coming to what Elsa is all about, we know that you transitioned from franchising to investment banking to now founding Elsa AI. How was your journey? What really led you to get into Web3? And what shaped your journey so far in Web3?
Uh, so essentially, my journey into entrepreneurship began, post my franchising career, and just like franchising is something which is very exciting. It helps people become entrepreneurs. Web3 space is bustling with opportunities. So my journey essentially began in 2019 when I co-founded Woodstock, an early stage Web3 venture capital fund. That experience gave me deep insights into the potential of like blockchain tech and a strong conviction in its long-term impact. Building on that foundation, I went on to co-found Frontier in 2020, a multi-chain wallet that later transitioned to Self-Chain in 2023, a modular layer one blockchain. Throughout this time, I sort of noticed a recurring challenge that many newcomers to crypto were overwhelmed by the complexity of existing platforms. I often found myself, guiding friends and family through the same questions, demystifying jargon, and helping them navigate unintuitive tools. That personal experience was the spark for Hey Elsa. We set out to build something truly beginner friendly, a smart, intuitive companion that lowered the entry barriers to Web3. Combining the power of AI and crypto, Elsa is designed to simplify the UX and make the space more accessible, especially for first time users. Our mission at Elsa is to make crypto feel easy, approachable, and empowering, essentially becoming your on chain brain. We're not just building a product, but we're reimagining how the next billion will onboard onto Web3.
Understood. So you've emphasized on how Elsa is very useful and aimed towards new users, onboarding new people who are interacting, say, with Web3 and blockchain for the first time, and also emphasized how Elsa is a crypto co-pilot. So, what exactly is the jargon and pain points that you thought were the toughest barriers for somebody new to the whole Web3 space to overcome and sort of jump through to be an active trader?
Yeah, so back then, my early experiences with crypto and trading automation were both exciting and also at the same time they were incredibly challenging. Uh, the crypto landscape was cluttered with very less user friendly wallets, everything from setting up wallets to making your first transaction was often riddled with technical jargon, manual processes, lots of Googling, searching on YouTube, using like say Telegram assistants. And all of that sort of had to require you to have a basic understanding of crypto concepts, like say something for example like gas fees, what are private keys, understand how exchanges worked, which is essentially a very deep and steep learning curve. There were constant concerns around like say safety scams, accidentally losing your tokens, because you made a small but a very you missed like a very small but a critical detail. Trading automation also, for beginners is particularly very intimidating. You need to have a strong grasp of APIs. You have to write your own trading scripts, as well as monitor markets 24/7. And then with ChatGPT on the horizon, okay, what was the foundational idea was that what if we can use AI to demystify all of these jargon concepts, the learning curve that someone needs to go through, and we can just build a financial tool on chain from scratch where there is minimal margin for error. uh, there were no easy dashboards or plug and play bots. Like everything was do it yourself, and even then things break down constantly. So these early struggles made it clear that crypto is relatively inaccessible for the average user. And if we build a solution like Elsa, it can bridge the gap and make the space more intuitive, secure, and beginner friendly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think personally, also, when I first interacted with any crypto platform for that matter, it was a very intimidating experience. At every turn, I had to Google one term or the other to find out what exactly it meant. So, yes, I can totally see how Elsa would really help people not be scared of exploring Web3 and blockchain. Uh, in addition to this, I also understand that Elsa has a voice command feature that allows users to interact more freely with the AI bot. So how did this come about? Was this driven by feedback of use from users, or how did you come about integrating this feature into the website?
Yeah, so a lot of times, when you're interacting with, like, say, overall, say cryptocurrencies, your typical goal looks like, oh, I want to acquire this asset. Oh, I want to acquire that asset. And then you start like researching on it. What our goal there was that what if we can reduce the drudgery around it, let people just talk about it. And then also, when we are talking, okay, generally we do tend to explain better as opposed to typing. Okay, so let's say if you were to like type out an email, okay, versus say leaving a voice note, your voice note will be a lot more direct. You might add like even more details. But when it comes to an
Definitely.
email, they tend to be a little bit lengthier. Also, if you look at the current, Gen X and Gen Z, okay, they're essentially more voice friendly. Okay, constantly like say leaving voice notes as well as like chat friendly as well. So a combination of two could be a really good combination. Sorry, a combination of both like voice and chat is a really effective tool for users to express and articulate their goals. Thirdly, we believe that voice will also play a very pivotal role in the future. So let's say you're just going through your news. Okay, typically one talks to like Alexa and play some music. Okay, here you can essentially say that, hey, Solana's seen a lot of price action. Tell me all about it. And then even when you're brewing your coffee, you can hear all the news that matter to you. So it can be used not just for like executing transactions, but also for discovering new tokens as well as learning more about the frequent changes that happen in the space.
So, looking ahead for the rest of the year, what is your vision for 2025? And are you planning on adding any more interesting features to Elsa, like voice commands or targeting new user segments? What does the rest of the year look like?
So it's pretty straightforward, roadmap for us. Okay, we see 2025 means adding support for like more number of chains, as well as adding support for adding support for like say more dApps as well. So let's say if we add more chains, dApps, and then of course solvers as well. So effectively, we are trying to cover all the bases of a typical traditional crypto user, what they try to do, how they try to do, and what are the next steps and so on.
So, speaking of chains, how has this multi chain approach enhanced Elsa's value for its users? And also, what brings you to Base? And why do you think Base is a great chain for Elsa to collaborate with? And yeah,
So
how has
Base
your
is,
experience been with Base?
so Base has also been equally supportive of what we're building at Elsa. We were able to get the first iterations out. Okay, and for anybody that's building on any chain, like what they typically look for is liquidity, okay, and active number of daily transacting users. What is often missed out of is the developer relations contact. With Base, they have a very, very supportive team. They constantly organize hackathons. They're very easy to get on calls with. Okay, so all of this makes a lot of difference, especially if you're like a pre-product idea. Okay, what you're looking for is validation, feedback from users, and the community at large. That is essentially going to shape how your product looks and feels and interacts with say the dapps on chain, etc. So the earlier you can get this feedback cycle kicked in, okay, the better that is. Also, Base has been, one of our investors as well. We're very happy to get Base Ecosystem Fund write us a check. Okay, so thrilled to sort of get that through as well. Our focus is always going to be that how can we get like more dApps on board? Okay, so that like users can achieve more and more of their intents.
Right. So, also given that many members of the Hive cohort are startups who are pre fundraising in their journey, and Elsa has raised a significant amount of funds. Could you share what your fundraising journey was like? What were the key milestones, and how does a founder who's struggling with something like that just go about it?
So, the idea of fundraising is how do you go from one node to another? Okay. You are going to be approaching a lot of funds. You're going to request a lot of introductions. For me, it was more of a mental battle that, let's say, in case you are not getting any positive feedback from, say, someone, okay, or like, say, one of the funds that you've approached and, they're not super positive about, Elsa, uh, the whole, the mental challenge is that how do you keep up with the momentum, okay, while retaining the same enthusiasm and go from one node to another. I think in this entire life cycle, you'll probably approach 50, 100, 200 funds, out of which maybe you're looking at a conversion rate of like 4 to 5%. So that would effectively mean that you'd probably get like 5 or 10 conversions, okay, out of everyone that you're approaching. So focus on like getting warm introductions. Okay, continue building a product. Apply for grants. Okay, find ways to extend your runway, and just do the regular product iteration as well. We launched Elsa with a lot of fanfare at Token 2049 in Singapore last year, and to our let's say misery, it was constantly an issue to sort of find use cases. Okay, we didn't see users being too happy with the product, and then just collect all of those negative feedbacks and see how we can loop them back into the process.
So, how has the feedback and engaging with the community really changed Elsa and how it works?
So like everyone has like different ways of using Elsa is a very, very fluid, okay, malleable layer that understands intents in natural languages and translates that into on-chain commands. So everyone has like a different way of using it. So initially, when we designed Elsa, it was all based on what we thought users would like, but that is probably just like I think maybe 5% of all users. So 95% of the time, when users are trying something that we haven't thought about, that is feedback for us to enhance and improve the app. So what you see right now is a tremendous upliftment of what users experienced in September last year versus say May 2025.
Interesting. So, taking from that, for somebody who's still in the journey of sort of building their product pre-launch and trying to get it into a very highly competitive market, what's the one piece of advice you would want to share with somebody very early stage on finding the right product market fit and actually scaling and getting their product out there?
I think it's just about like talking to users. Okay, so let's say you launch Elsa. Okay, you see people using it. Okay, so whenever people connect their wallets, you can see their on-chain history. You can very easily find out, if there are like seasoned crypto users or their first time crypto users. And accordingly, let's say, having like an open channel, okay, for them to communicate and share those thoughts with you can make like a world of a difference there. So getting all of that feedback and then just keep iterating on it. Let's say, if you get like tons of user feedback and if you keep iterating on it, like, you're really on a very strong trajectory.
Right. So keeping that communication loop open and continuously updating based on the user experience that you offer.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So I think one last question and then we wrap up, and that's about Hive. So what do you look forward to the most with the rest of your journey with Hive, and how would you like for the program to benefit Elsa?
So I think like constant contact is super important. Okay, we don't want to be one of those companies that starts off with a really high momentum, but can't really sustain it over time. Okay, we look forward to constantly engaging with the Hype team. We're super proactive. We're always there, and I think from Hive, continue hosting all of these events and organizing them. That also sort of is great encouragement for anyone that's presenting and say popularizing how other ways you can get around with let's say the crypto AI space is fairly nascent. Okay, so that does require a fair bit of like say education on the user front as well. So anything that you can help us in that regard would be immensely appreciated.
Absolutely. Hive is aimed at helping our projects maximize their scalability and outreach. And hopefully, this collaboration can be beneficial to Elsa, and hope to see Elsa really pioneer in the crypto AI space.
Yes, thank you so much. We're excited as well and looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dhaval, for taking out the time for the podcast. Great to have you here, and we'll continue keeping working together to throughout your journey on the Hive.
Sure. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Abha. Take care. Bye.